It's impossible to not talk about COVIDs this day and age. But the breakthrough cases are not breakthrough anymore. I don't know if they ever were. I do believe that there was some sort of like the variant thing was a cover up. I do believe that. Reason being is because none of this makes any sense. None of it aligns with what it is that they claim that was going to happen. And as well as the shifting of the definition of what a vaccine is really eerie. Because it's no longer meaning where you're immune to a illness or, you get it one time and you're supposed to be good going forward. Now it's more of a symptom mitigator that passes as a vaccine. Traditionally, or rather historically so, we've never known a vaccine to be a freaking therapeutic. Like, that's really all that it is. But on a serious note, with the COVIDs, it's just way too many cases that we're seeing of people that have had it and were fully vaccinated, some even 3 times, despite getting that, ended up in the hospital in some cases. Now, I'm not even about to dispute this whole nonsense of the vaccinated. No, it's the pandemic of the unvaccinated, right? That's a bullshit term, and it has to be retired now, considering the fact that they can spread it, they can catch it, they can get sick. We know that. Everybody that's jabbed that can get that. But I think the real conversation that needs to be had is the one that's going to make a lot of you uncomfortable. Some of you are people, and I don't knock you for it. I wouldn't have done it. Obviously, I didn't do it. But some of you weighed the risk benefit, and it was your right to do that, and you decided to line up and get the jab. It is what it is. Okay, I don't knock you for it. I don't hate you for it. But we have to talk about why are we seeing the explosion of cases, not just in places throughout America, but all around the world, where you get some pockets that have a higher case rate now, despite having more vaccinated people, and they still, again, it's not even having similar numbers to what they had last year in the peak in 2020. They're having worse. Now, not maybe with hospitalizations and stuff, but certainly with, now some areas do, yeah, but certainly with the number of cases. So we're talking about the people that are testing positive for this. Here's another example, and this is the one that I've been keeping an eye on. I hope you guys have been keeping an eye on. Singapore. 82% of their population is fully vaccinated. And they have a new high in cases. They have a mask mandate as well. 82% of their population being fully vaccinated. And yet, as you can see by this chart right here, I blew it up. You have to, of course, go view the VOD if you are one of those that are listening to the audio via podcast. You can see that this was supposed to be the peak. Around the same time everywhere else, you have March, April, May, where it was supposed to be the peak. And then it levels out. And then as we get more people vaccinated, it does this. That is a trend that we're not just seeing in Singapore. We're seeing this in all around the world. I understand that some of y'all don't want to ask the question because y'all don't want the answer to the question. But on a serious note, it's something that we need to ask. And you shouldn't be afraid or feel coerced into asking or not asking this because you're questioning the science trademark. But this is antithetical to what the public health experts all around the world said was going to happen. Why is it that we're seeing more cases in a lot of places despite having high vaccination rates? Eddie Griffin, I don't know if you saw his video or he was talking about that. He was like, what the hell is in that vaccine? Look, I know that anything contrary to lining up and getting booster shots every 2 months, anything like that means that you're anti-vax, even if you've been vaccinated. But seriously, something is stanky, okay? It reeks. It reeks. Walensky, I will continue to mention her name. She is the director of the CDC, Dr. Rochelle Walensky. I showed y'all the receipts of her specifically stating that she's, people that are getting the vaccines do not carry the virus. And that was in April. So that wasn't even that long ago. It's April of this year. And they got it. And now it's not happening in the way that they claimed that it was going to happen. And you think about it, definitely, some of these areas and how their rules are set up, how their policy is set up, it's almost set up to where they don't want the results. Think about it. Who are the people that are required to be tested? It's not the vaccinated. When you look at the alternatives, they say in these uber authoritarian, tyrannical areas where they have like vaccine passports, the opt out is that the person has to have a negative test. Why ain't they testing the fucking people that got the vaccine? It's almost as if this shit happened. Look, it's a question worth asking. We've seen this in Singapore. We've seen this in pockets of Massachusetts in this country with high vaccination rates in areas that are having either right near it or, like in Singapore's case, they're breaking their own records in terms of cases. So we have to dispel of the myth. Yes, I get it. Some of y'all have been led astray because I understand. Some of y'all were tricked into getting it because you thought we were going to be over this if in the event that you got it. Because that's how, to be fair, they marketed it. They marketed it as to say, well, if you get this vaccine, you're not supposed to get it. And then that changed from, well, now you're not going to get sick. Oh, well, now you won't be hospitalized. It was a goalpost move, but you got the jab either way it goes. You can't kind of turn back the hands of time on that. Now I would think you would want to know why this is. Why is it that everything that they said was supposed to happen with this did not happen? Symptom mitigator, if that's what you want to call it, fine. But the facts of the matter is, and the data points to, that having a highly vaccinated population does not mean lower cases. It doesn't. I mean, it simply does not. So why are they continuing to push this narrative that, well, you need to get it, especially if you're young? Hell, Pfizer talking about between 5 and 11-year-olds. You're talking about the least vulnerable population. And they saying they need to. Why are they telling y'all that? It just doesn't add up. But I think the scarier problem is that, well, you can't even ask questions without being a conspiracy theorist, despite what the data says. And this is why, and, the person that shared this post, who's been doing a great job of keeping up with this, you can follow him at INMSC, excuse me. That's IANMSC. Has a lot of charts detailing the data. And you look at this, and you maybe are a vaccinated person, though, to backtrack just a little bit. You're a vaccinated person, and you look at this, what the fuck are you supposed to think? Now, some people are going to double down, but the questions need to be asked. It's necessary. It needs to happen. And we don't get on the other side of this until people are questioning this stuff. And then their actions start to match with the data. Because really that's what we're crying about, right? It's the data doesn't match up with the actions. It's just that because they depend on you listening to them and everything that they say, well, they expect you to, they'll continue to spread whatever bullshit it is they are going to spread. This ends when you say that it ends. They lied, people died, and that's just the reality of the situation. You just watched a clip from my podcast, For Canon's Sake. Catch us live at 12 p.m. throughout the week over at youtube.com/YoungRipper59 and follow us over at odyssey.com/@YoungRipper59. If you want to watch the entire video cast after the show is over, just be sure to become a member on the YouTube channel. Of course, the full audio portion of the podcast is available for free on all major digital platforms, or just visit forcanonsake.com.